Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to Being on Stage, the only podcast that gives you motivation, inspiration, and confidence to be better on stage. No matter how you entertain, sing, dance, band, comedian, public speaking, MC, drag, burlesque, performance art, or street performer, this is the show for you. Hey there, rock stars. Reggie Dawson, your host of the Being on Stage podcast. Welcome back. And thank you, humbly thank you for tuning in to the show. Whether it's your first time or whether you've been listening for a while, thank you. Been a couple days. I know I'm on this podcast every day kick, and I'm loving it. I really am. It's been a couple of days since I recorded a podcast. Got a little down on myself, had a little bit of a rough weekend. Got really tired. Didn't have a great day on Saturday. And it got me thinking, how long are we allowed to, be down on ourselves after, say you have a performance, you get on stage. It doesn't go the way you want it to go. At all. Maybe the energy's just not there. Maybe you're just not having a good night. Maybe it's not, maybe it's just not your thing not anymore. But maybe it's just not your thing right then and there. Or sometimes you just, for some unknown reason, something happens, something goes wrong. God forbid you slip and fall on stage. Technical errors, equipment failures, costume malfunctions, whatever it is, I think we all, I know we all have nights where after the show and even into the next day, we're just like, oh man, that was not what it was supposed to be. And I gotta tell you, I've been there more than once. It's not like a one-time deal, we're human beings. Our emotions are a roller coaster. And, as performers, we have a bit of a streak of, perfectionism. And so when things don't go quite the way we envision it, or if they go terribly, terribly wrong, we have a habit of kind of like, we feel bad, and it affects us mainly because what we put out on stage is a piece of ourselves. So when we put out a piece of ourselves, when we put out something we've created, our baby, if you will, our performance is like, it is you. It's your personality and your talent coming together to share an experience with the audience. Oh, that's good. I think I just defined a performance. Is your personality and your talent coming together to give an experience to the audience. Bam. Sometimes these things just come to me, Train of thought, Reggie. Train of thought. So when we put our personality and our talent together and we put it out there, and it doesn't go right, we're naturally going to feel bad. We're going to feel rejected. We're going to feel, we can call it awkward, I guess. We're going to feel, actually, sometimes we're just going to feel like we're not talented, but we feel, I call it just down on yourself. You feel down on yourself. And being in that position, you gotta set yourself up for continued success as a performer. That's something you have to have a mindset for, is you're going to continue to find success. You're going to continue to go after something. And when you get down in the dumps, but when you get in your feelings, it can affect your ability to move forward. And we all go through it. You're not alone. Like, if you're like, oh my God, he gets me. No, every single performer goes through this. From multi-million-dollar platinum recording artists and Cirque du Soleil performers all the way down to the guy that just got on stage for the first time Saturday night. Every single one of us has nights like that just, they don't go our way. All of us. And that's a little bit where I was getting this weekend, and it wasn't anything having to do with the podcast or coaching or anything like that. I have another business that I run as well, and that kind of got me a little upset this weekend. And then things with the not my family. Anyways, not to get into too much detail, but there's some family stuff going on with trying to get things straightened out around the house, and just, it's just been a tiring, awful weekend. And this morning I woke up and I'm like, all right, it's been a day or so. It's been like a day and a half since you recorded a podcast. what are you doing? Why are you acting like this? And you gotta almost slap yourself in the face sometimes. And for me, this is terrible. This is the corporate man in me, if you will. For me, Monday mornings always offer a reset. And you can pick any day of the week. As performers, sometimes Thursdays and Fridays are better reset days. But Monday, just naturally, it's first day of the week. Everyone's there's like an energy in the air of productivity because everyone's getting up and starting back at it, again. So Mondays always offer me a good reset. But think about this, if you got a show Wednesday night, you can't wait till Monday to move past it, my friend. You gotta set yourself a time. So this is what you do. Okay, I'm kind of leading into it. So here's what you do. Right now, today. No, you know what? Right now, I'm not going to give you any time to do this. Right now, pick a time or amount of hours, if you will, from the time that you get off stage until the time you have to get over it. And this is great show or terrible show, but you're going to find yourself using this probably more for terrible shows. After a great show, this can happen to us too. We become a little complacent because, oh my God, we did it. That was amazing. And the next day you wake up and you're like, and now what? What do I do now? Because that was amazing. Or you just feel like you can relax a little bit, and that's not the case either. So great show or terrible show, you got to pick yourself a time frame for self-pity and for self-celebration. So whether you're celebrating your success and your amazing performance or you're wallowing in your sadness because it was awful. Sorry, I put it so bluntly right there. Pick yourself a time frame. Allow time to celebrate and to feel these emotions. Like, allow time to process, to rewatch the performance. Allow yourself time to do that. But I always like 36 hours because I feel like 2 days probably a little too much, but 1 day is sometimes not quite enough. I don't know. So I like 36 hours. You get a good amount of sleep in between that time. It's usually a morning refresh because you got the 24 hours until the same time the next day and then 12 hours later. So you usually should probably be sleeping twice in 36 hours. Most people would anyways. But that kind of gives you a double reset, if you will. And so 36 hours is my chosen time frame. So no matter what my performance is like, no matter what my day is like, I only allow myself 36 hours to experience it and to celebrate it or to cry in a corner about it. But 36 hours, that's it. So this is actually my 36 hours from my terrible, awful Saturday. A little bit more than 36 hours because I didn't wake up at 6 a.m., but who can blame me? I don't do 6 a.m. But that's just it. You pick yourself a time frame, and you have to stick to that. Listen, there are. I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. There are going to be shows that you just want to erase from history and pretend that they never ever happened. I know, I've been there. I did a Marilyn Manson song at a hip hop club. Talk about a show you want to erase from history. Okay, I'm coming out, makeup, gothic clothes, straps hanging off my clothes, gloves and fishnets and buckles and top hats and these people are like gold chains and snapbacks. Like it was not at all the place for that performance. So I get it. Sometimes, that was a terrible decision because I didn't research the crowd, but that's a whole nother episode. If you get booked at a venue and you're not really sure what type of venue it is, just side lesson of this podcast, you should really check out what type of venue it is. And you could do that by asking the promoter, the owner, or the DJ. And it doesn't have to be a completely ignorant question. What kind of music are you going to be playing that night? What else is going to be going on? Those types of questions can give you a really good feel for what it's going to be. So if I had asked what type of music it was, I probably would have made a different decision. But it's still a performance that, although I didn't make the right decisions leading up to, I wish I could just delete. No applause, blank stares. One girl almost like punched me because she was afraid of clowns, and I was like half a clown. Like it was bad. And so you're gonna have, you're going to have nights like that. Maybe not quite like that, but you're going to have nights where you just bomb and it just doesn't happen for you. So, but you have to move on. Like, you have to also have the ability to move on from that. Otherwise, that's going to be it. Whether it's like, on the flip side, maybe it's I've had amazing show. I've had a show where literally afterwards the entire crowd was chanting my name and they made me pre-perform the same. Like, I've had that show where I had an immediate encore. Like, so I've had both ends of the spectrums, and you will too if you haven't already. You're going to have shows that are just blow your mind. You're like, oh my God, I made it. That's how I felt one night. And those shows can also lead to the same thing. They can lead to you being complacent. They can lead to you not really, like, doing as much anymore. They can lead to you just kind of like trying to ride that high for a little bit. And that's going to end the same way as the wallowing, crying in the corner self-pity because my show was awful. No matter which one you get sucked into, whether you're riding that high or you're riding that low, no matter which one you get sucked into, you have to have the ability to pull yourself out. Otherwise, you will get stuck. And getting unstuck can be hard. Like, it can be really hard if you let yourself get stuck in that feeling, that emotion. Even riding that high, you let yourself get stuck, it's going to be really hard to work your way back because that ego and that cockiness and that just, that person you become, you know? And having this plan, having this timeline, this 36 hours, or maybe you need 48 hours, maybe you need 72 hours. It depends on how long you've been performing, what stage you're at, sometimes it depends on how good or how bad it was too. What else is going on in your life? Like, there's a lot of variables to think of, but you have to pick a time frame. And I want you to pick a time frame today, before you go to bed today. And don't push pause and start listening to this again tomorrow to get an extra day because you're about to go to bed. I got a teenager. I know the tricks. Anyway, make a decision today. How long are you going to give yourself to ride that emotion? How long? Is it going to be 24 hours, 36 hours, 48, 72? I'm always doing 12-hour, 24-hour increments, but you can pick any increment, you know. You can pick a day. You can say, all right, no matter what, Monday morning, every day, no matter when I perform, I'm over it. I'm moving forward. You can pick Wednesday. I mean, you technically pick Saturday. But pick a time that you're going to move forward no matter what. And stick to that time. That's probably the hardest part, is stick to that time. You have to be able to move forward. There's no way that you're going to find either continued success, or there's no way you're going to find success or continued success, I should say, if you get stuck. And I guess that's the point of the podcast. Listen, if you already feel stuck, like, listen, we can all feel stuck in different ways. If you already feel stuck and you need a little bit of help getting unstuck, whether it be an encouraging talk, help figuring things out, what you need to do, making a plan to move forward, or just a stiff kick in the pants, hop on my calendar, beingonstage.com/calendar. I want to be that stiff kick in the pants to get you moving forward. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Hop on that calendar and I'll give you a call at the date and the time that you choose. And we'll vet it out, man. I got people popping up on my calendar here and there. So, yeah, keep them coming. Keep them coming. And of course, keep on shining.